Okay. Actions resulting from closed session. The board just returned from closed session, and I'll let Dr. Amerson take on this one.
Thank you, Madam President. The board did take action in closed session. And in closed session, the board took action to approve, ratify the March 19th, 2021 final settlement agreement and general release between the parent on behalf of herself and the student number 11831 and the Duarte Unified School District OAH case number 2021010561. The vote was 4-0-1. Thank you.
Good evening, Duarte community. I will call the meeting to order at 7:09. I think that's what everybody has. Thank you for joining us for our board meeting tonight. Tonight marks our first Zoom board meeting, but we can't wait to get back to meeting in person, which I hope is really soon. So roll call. I see Mr. Bell, Dr. Finley, Ms. Koo, and Raina will be back shortly. And I'm going to move on to flag salute. Mr. Bell, would you like to do this flag salute for us?
It will be my honor. Face the east. Hands over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Moment. Beliefs, vision and mission. Ms. Koo, can you read our beliefs? And James, our vision and our mission.
Our beliefs. We believe we are a community of learners. We believe learning occurs in a culture of caring and respect. We believe all students are motivated to learn when they are engaged in meaningful work that connects to their lives. We believe expectations do influence performances and outcomes. We believe learning increases when there are high expectations for performance and conduct. We believe we have the responsibility to find solutions that enable all students to learn.
Our vision, 21st century schools producing 21st century students. Our mission, provide the knowledge, skills, and inspiration for each student for success in college, career, and life.
Okay. I guess adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to
So
adopt?
move.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, so motion by Bell, Mr. Bell, and second by James, Dr. Finley.
Madam President.
And we're going to take.
Madam Vice President, we apologize. I had a technical glitch. I was out of the meeting for about 2 minutes. So we do not have a record of what occurred from about the Pledge of Allegiance until just now.
Okay, so you want me to go back to number 8, adoption of the agenda, or go back to the beliefs?
We just, no, as far as our regular routine reading of our belief statements, I think that's okay for the record. We just need to know what action we took on the adoption of the agenda, the motion and the second.
Mr. Bell did the motion and second by Dr. Finley.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Bell.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes on the motion. I guess I go through all of them, don't I?
That's correct.
Okay, Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Dr. Finley,
Yes.
Ms. Koo,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Any discussion on anything?
Madam Vice President, just make sure also we would have our student board representative.
Oh, yes. Okay, Adriana, are they there?
Yes.
Okay, and Olga?
I just see Ariana with us this evening.
Okay, very good. Okay. Number 9, announcements. Our administrators are so excited to see our students in person and have put together welcome back messages.
Yes, so Madam Vice President and members of the board, we're very, very excited to share a compilation video that has been prepared and developed by our principals to share what's going on in our schools. And so we're very excited to show this. And so I will turn it over to the team to present the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Sofia Valdez, Duarte Preschool Coordinator. On behalf of our child development staff, we welcome our youngest students and their families to preschool on their first day of school. Despite the challenges, I cannot be happier than to be here reopening our learning spaces for our preschool students, where the health and safety of our students, families, and staff is our #1 priority. At Duarte Preschool, we strive to provide high-quality services, and we seek to provide a smooth and comfortable transition to all our preschool students. Stay tuned for child development updates and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We look forward to a successful end of the school year 2020-21. See you soon. Bye.
She's great. She's great.
Hi, Beardsley families. It is Mrs. Romero. I just wanted to welcome all of you back, whether that be in our hybrid learning model or our full distance learning model. We want to remind all families that we are here for you, that we will continue to provide your students with an academic rigorous program, regardless if they come twice a week in cohorts A or B, whether they are in preschool, whether they are in fourth grade, whether they are in third grade, whether they are in fifth grade, we are here for them. So regardless if you are hybrid, if you are full distance, you will continue to receive a quality education. We cannot thank all of our families and students enough for all of their continued dedication and hard work. We thank you. We couldn't do this without all of us working together, because that is true teamwork and doing it the Beardsley way. We also wanted to let all families know that all safety measures have been put into place. We will continue to ensure all protocols are in place, that students are safe, that procedures are followed, and that everyone is learning, engaging, and having fun. So thank you for your continued support. We look forward again to seeing all of our students thriving and learning in whichever model they happen to be in, because that's what we are dedicated to. So if you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out to our staff, to our teachers, to our office, to myself. We are here for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you have done with your students and for your students this year. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a little time to thank our teachers and staff who are amazing. All of us, again, working together makes a difference. So welcome back. And we will see some of you in the hybrid model. We will see some of you online, but regardless of where you are, we will be learning together. Take care.
Hi, this is Dr. Lawson, the principal of Maxwell Academy, and I have Max, the mascot, with me this morning. And we are so excited that this week we get to welcome students back on campus, starting with our kindergarten students. Boys and girls, we're just so excited for this moment, and we just want to remind you that we need to continue to stay safe. We need to make safe choices, so we need to choose responsibly, act respectfully, respect the space of others, wear our masks, make sure we're social distancing. We need to make sure we're reflecting constantly, that we're thinking about what are we doing? Why are we here at school? Are we being safe? Are we adhering to the social distancing rules? And then most importantly, we want to make sure that boys and girls, when you come back, you engage in the learning, right? Wow, we've been waiting so long for this moment to happen, and it's finally happening, and we're just so excited. Max is just like wants to do flips because he's so excited. So on that note, I just want to welcome you back, and let's get on campus and get it started with our learning. All right, thank you. Dr. Lawson signing out. Goodbye. See you later.
Hello, Royal Oaks family and community. It has been over a year since we have seen many of you on our campus, and we are so overjoyed to be able to bring so many of you guys back onto campus safely. Being able to see our little eagles' faces filled with excitement brings us so much joy and warms our hearts, and we are glad that we're able to bring many of you back, and we look forward to the day that we'll be able to open up our campus to all of our students. Be well, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Go Eagles!
Hello, Edward Haskell Falcon families. This is Mr. Harrell, the principal, and it's been with great anticipation that I finally get to say, welcome back, Falcons. I can't wait to see our students and families finally after this long journey we've been on together. We've been working very hard in this remote learning and now even harder to prepare for our hybrid model. Can't wait to see our students on campus and our families dropping off our students. Just trust that we are, of course, taking your health and safety as our top priority. So we're working hard to put protocols and procedures in place and to assure that that occurs. So welcome back. Can't wait to see you. It's going to be a great rest of the school year.
Hello students, this is Kevin Morris, your principal at Mount Olive Innovation and Technology High School. I just want to say welcome back. We're looking forward to seeing you and we'll finish out the year strong. Have a great day.
Did yours go off again? Okay.
No, I think somehow the tail end of the video got cut off.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
No, it cut off in the middle of, cut off in the middle of Mr. Morris's presentation. So I'm not sure, maybe just a little bit of technical difficulty there.
All right. I guess we're going to move on or.
Well, Madam Vice President, with your permission, I would like to turn the meeting over to Board President Diaz, who is with us. Board President Diaz, over to you.
I'll let Raina. Thank you.
You're on mute, Miss President.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. Thank you, Cici. I appreciate your commitment and your passion to this district and your commitment to the board. And thank you, Dr. Emerson, to coordinate this meeting. It's always nice to see your professionalism to help us and to look good and do good things. Now we will move to item number 10, report from the student board members.
We'll turn it over to Ariana for her presentation, her report. Ariana?
Yay!
Thank you. I'm Ariana Serna, and I am reporting for high school. So DHS, as Mr. Hara said, DHS is focusing on the opening of the school April 26th. Currently, ASB is working hard during the end of the school year and working on things such as spirit weeks, activities, trying to keep the students involved. And we're also working on graduation, which a bunch of seniors are asking for. And we're also showing our support towards our incoming Falcons by holding a safe orientation for our current freshmen, as well as today we held a meeting for our incoming 8th graders. So we're all excited to come back on campus and see each other. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Ariana. Madam President, Olga is not with us this evening. So with your permission, we can move along on the agenda.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Item number 11, Superintendent Report.
Thank you, Madam President. So for my superintendent's report tonight, I have a few topics I'd like to touch on. As we've seen, the board, we shared with the board the reopening plans and gave an update and showing the procedures and the protocols that we put in place to make sure that our students and staff are safe upon return. And one of the things that I found really, really uplifting is just the enthusiasm and the excitement that our principals are showing for this transition period of really starting to think about how we begin to reintroduce our students and staff back to campus and back to being together and learning in person. This is a journey. It's not going to be a sprint. It's not going to be something that is fixed and done overnight, but I'm looking forward to this transition process to begin to welcome our students and staff back. And so through the presentations and the videos that you saw, you've seen that we've taken a lot of care and a lot of time to make sure that there's a commitment to making sure that we can do this process in a safe manner. You know, we were shaken to the core back in March of 2020, and we had to make the decision to close our schools. And it's been a long year. And there's been a lot of work. There's been a lot of dedication. There's been a lot of commitment by our students and our staff and our families to be able to endure this pandemic. But I think that this team and this district has done a really, really good job of prioritizing the safety and security of our staff and students. But then also when it became time to begin to think about the transition and the reintroduction of our students and staff to campus, we prioritized vaccinations and making sure that we got our community underway to be able to vaccinate and really move us in this direction. And over time, throughout the entire pandemic, our staff, under the leadership of Mr. Baller and Mr. Gino, have been hard at work making sure we secure the proper PPE and the proper necessary equipment and materials to make sure that we can, again, do these things in a safe and smart manner. The other thing along the lines of schools specifically is I do want to take a moment just to talk about WASC. And as many of you know, Duarte High School is going through the WASC process just recently, but also over the last few months, MIT also went through the WASC process as well. And what I'm very, very happy to report is that both of our high schools did extremely well through the WASC process. And for that, our leadership teams, our principals, our staff, our classified staff, certificated staff, our parents, students, this board, this executive leadership team should all be applauded, because what the WASC team does is they come in and they do a comprehensive top to bottom review of the entire school program, not just the teaching and learning component, but the school culture component, the operations component, the school culture component. All these different facets are looked at to determine whether our high schools meet the threshold to be accredited by WASC, which is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. Why is WASC so important? WASC is very, very important because it validates the education that our high school students go through. And so it's quite a testament under the leadership of both our Duarte Falcons leaders as well as our MIT leaders that we are doing a really good job and being validated by an outside entity of education professionals. That is the most important thing. We think we do a good job, but when we have that validated by folks from the outside who also see the very same good work, that is a wonderful thing for us as a community. Also want to take just a moment to give an update on Measure S. And many of our community members will remember that in the month of November 2020, we went through the process of placing a bond on the ballot. And because of the belief and the trust of our community in this school district and in this leadership team, the bond was passed. And so at this point in time, we have a bond that's been passed for $79 million. We have been hard at work behind the scenes talking through the process of what happens and what are next steps. And so in the coming months, we'll be bringing more reports and more information to the board as we begin the initial first stage process of what we want to do with respect to the bond. There'll be a lot of engagement of our parents and community. There'll be a lot of engagement of our community at large, because we really want this to be something that the entire community shares and celebrates within. Modernizing our schools, upgrading our schools, bringing 21st century learning to the real world and where we can see it and it's evident for our students is a commitment that I think we all can get behind. And so I'm looking forward to that opportunity to make sure that we realize those goals for this community. It is not lost on me that the fact that our school district can pass a bond in the middle of a pandemic, that is a huge vote of confidence. And so for that, I'm very thankful and very, very humbled to lead this school district and be a part of this transformational process. And the last thing I want to talk about is just an update on the conversation that the board has been engaged since the direction from our board president in December of 2020, and that is related to school consolidation, school facilities, needs assessment, et cetera. And the board has been briefed on multiple occasions by our legal counsel on the process, the next steps, and we are very, very excited to continue to move in a direction where we are ascertaining what is the most appropriate next steps for our district to take with respect to looking at our facilities, maximizing our instructional programs, and maximizing our ability to deliver a high quality education for every one of our scholars. And so it became clear to us that while we were on a very ambitious timeline and looking at a number of different factors, that we want to take a pause. We want to go through and make sure we have a comprehensive process, a comprehensive engagement process. So we're going to take a little bit longer period of time to make sure we go through this process in a thorough manner. And so as a result of that, the board is going to be considering this ongoing conversation into the 2021-2022 school year before any final decisions are made. And so we'll be doing the work on the administrative side to make sure that we're working with our labor partners to inform them of next steps and inform them of the next things that we're going to do to make sure we can move smoothly through this process, but continue to keep the board informed along the way. And so in that regard, I want to just thank the board president, the board vice president, our entire school board, our student board rep for your continued commitment to our school district and continued commitment to the work that we're doing. And I want to thank my team for their hard work and their commitment. This is always a team effort, and I'm glad to have such a great team to work with. Madam President, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Dr. Emerson. We now move to item 12, request to address the board. Do we have any requests?
We do not have any request to address the board, Madam President.
Thank you. We now move to general functions. Item 13.1, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 4, 2021, and the special meeting of March 17, 2021, and April 6, 2021. May I have a motion?
So move. So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Second, James.
Dr. Finlay. And there is any discussion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Ariana?
Yes.
And Olga is absent, right? No.
Just one moment, everyone. Let me just double check. Can everybody hear Board President Diaz or her audio?
Her audio is
can't.
low.
It's low. Okay, her
It
audio
sounds
is
like,
low.
I think her audio is coming through your device and not through hers.
Okay, let's give us one moment. We're going to check. We're going to check her technology.
But at least I could hear her. But it was just, it sounds distant.
Muffled.
Okay.
Muffled a little bit.
Okay, I can mute. That is fixed. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I was asking for the roll call via Ariana, say yes, and Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Pillay,
Yes.
and Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Okay, it was moved and approved, the minutes of the regular meeting. Now we move into item 13.2, approve the consent calendar. The next item of business is adoption of the consent calendar. Does anyone want to remove any item for separate discussion or action? Seeing none objections, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move to approve.
I'll
Moved
second.
by Mr. Bell, second by
I'll second. Cece Carroll.
Cici. Okay. Moved by Cici, thank you. Roll call, Ariana,
Yes.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Finlay,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz Koo. Okay, consent calendar is approved. We now move to item 13.3. First reading of approval of the board by law. I need a motion to approve the first reading of the approval of board by law.
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr. Bell,
Second.
second by Mrs. Hu. Do you have any discussion? No, no discussion, no questions? Okay, I will call for roll call. Ariana
Yes.
and Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Pele,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz. Yes, we now move to item 14, personal and student services. I need a motion for proclamation number 25-2021, declaring May 13, 2021 as Day of the Teacher. May I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Oh, I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second by Mrs. Carroll. There is any questions or discussion regarding the teacher Day of the Teacher? Seeing none.
I do. Sorry. I have a quick question, Madam President. And I know that Day of the Teacher happens every year. Is it on a certain day, or is it every year, or is this one? I guess what's the history of this day? How often, or does it happen like the second Wednesday of every May or something like that? Does anyone know?
Dr. Emerson.
Thank you, Madam President. And thank you, Dr. Finley, for the question. I'm going to ask Mr. Crosby if he would respond to the question. Is there a specific day in the month of May that this is declared on?
It's on the national recognized California Teachers Association's Day of the Teacher. So we celebrate that along with the Teachers Union for the Day of the Teacher.
All right. It's well deserved for sure.
Along with the next one, it's with our classified friends there. And yes, it's a day, and the next one is a week, but that is what they call them all.
Madam President, I just have a comment or a question.
Please go ahead. This is the time.
You know, I just think that for everything that the staff and our teachers, and if we have a moment to do something, we needed to make this really special. I mean, really, really special. A way to acknowledge all of the changes they've had to make, from remote and back to school. And we really need to make sure that they hear something that's a little bit different. We don't want to just kind of say, hey, Day for the Teacher, yay, and do something to make them feel, I mean, I don't even know. I know the money's short, but find something to make them feel special. That's the way I feel. That's the way I feel.
Okay.
I mean, it's a great opportunity. We're saying the Day of a Teacher. Let's make it serious. Day of a Teacher, and so they can feel it.
Okay, thank you.
Just my opinion.
Take into consideration your comments, Mr. Bell. I know many years ago, we used to, as the board members, we used to put together small tokens of appreciation to every teacher in our school district. That was about 20 years ago. And I can tell you there was a really nice experience. That was from the board. And I know from many of our superintendents and their cabinet, they used to give like donuts and fruit and send some refreshments to the teachers on their teacher day. But I also would like to remind you that also we appreciate our teachers. Yes, I mean, and we can show, and like I say, and we'll repeat, if we want to do something from ourselves, we can do it, or we will follow up with our superintendent to make sure that they feel that we recognize what they do for us and for the kids, especially. Thank you, Mr. Bell. Any other
Thank you.
comments? Cece, go ahead.
Yeah, so PTA, which I was a part of for many, many, many years, I did hospitality, and we used to appreciate the teachers for a whole week. So I know PTA in a lot of the schools in the past have done that, where we had luncheons, or we've had, like you said, like muffins or little things like that that went out to teachers. But this is an actual day. So I know PTA has done it for many, many years in a week-long sort of a teacher's appreciation, and with the classified too. So
Okay. Thank you, Cece. If there is any other comment,
Ariana has her hand up.
Ariana.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I had a comment. I know personally, since like my 7th grade year, we've done appreciation week of that week, and that usually falls around my birthday too, so it's kind of coincided.
Watch out.
So it was that entire week of May 13th, and the specific day of May 13th, we would decorate the entire lounge, and we would get like refreshments, donuts, all that, and then throughout the week, like Ms. Bell was saying, like throughout the week we'd have something very special, but specifically on May 13th, we'd get something really big. And I believe last year they got like a taco stand or something like that for the teachers. So I think we can look into that and, appreciating the teachers, especially this year since it's been extremely difficult for them, for the students as well.
Thank you. Appreciate your comment. Any other comment? If there is none, then I will move to roll call. Ariana.
Yes.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
yes.
Dr. Finley,
Yes.
and Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Item 14.2, declaring week of May 16-22, 2021 as classified school employee week. I need a motion.
So move.
Moved by
Second.
Mr. Bell, second by Dr. Finley. There is any discussion?
Well, I think
Madam President,
Yes.
just quickly, Mr. Crosby, can you give a little context and history behind Classified School Employees Week,
Thank
please?
you.
Yeah, it's just like the teachers, we follow the week of the classified employees, which is California, the Classified School Employee Association honors all of our classified employees during this week. It's a week of celebration of all the work that they do. A lot of our classified employees are not at the forefront, but they make sure that all the things are working. They're the first ones there and the last ones to leave. So I really do appreciate all of our classified employees.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. Cece, what comment do you like to make?
No, I was going to make the same comment. The only comment I think I was going to make is I think this is the history about it, but it's like the teachers get one day and the classified get, I asked that question, why the teachers have one day, but the classified has a week. Is there any significance to that, or just the way it is?
It's just the way it's been. It's the National Day of the Teacher, and then it's always been Classified Week.
Okay, so it's always been there.
But
so.
still celebrating them, and we do want to celebrate them that entire week for both groups, and the great things that they do for our kids every single day of the year.
Definitely, I think they both should be, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. Thank you, Cece. There is any other discussion, comment? I will roll call. Ariana?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
And Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Mrs. Diaz, yes. Moving to item 14.3, MOU between DUSD and DUEA dated March 18, 2021. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second?
Second. Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. Any comments or discussion?
Madam President, with your permission. Mr. Crosby, can you just share some high-level highlights regarding what this MOU is just for the community, please?
This is the MOU that we got with DUEA, our teachers union, and the district for bringing back our preschool classes through 5th grade and including special ed SDC. The students have been in school now for we started off with our preschool and kinder last week. This week, we got to bring in our 1st and 2nd grade. Next week, we get to bring in our 3rd through 5th grade. It's been an exceptional start. Love going around, seeing the kids in classes and just having kids around our schools. It's a place for them to be. And so great work with our teachers union and working alongside with the district to make sure that we had a safe opening for all of our staff and our students. In this document, again, is our safety procedures that we are in place in our schools. And it was a great collaboration, and really applaud the negotiation teams for both the DUE and the district.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby.
Yes.
Madam President, can I ask a quick question of Mr. Crosby? Rick, when this MOU is constructed, so it's sort of agreed upon with your team and then with the teachers union, is there a vote that then goes out to their membership, or what is that
Yes,
process?
they have to approve it, and the teachers approve this. I don't remember by a percentage right now off the top of my head, so I'm sorry if you're going to ask that the next question, which usually is. So I really apologize not having that. And then that's when it comes to the board, once it's approved by the union and its members.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other comment or question? Okay, has been moved and second the MOU between the USD and the UAA. So I will call roll call. Ariana,
Yes.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Phillips,
Yes.
and Mrs. Cook,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz. Yes. Moving to item 14.4, reduction of assigned hours of classified position. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell. Second,
Second,
who was the first second?
who can have it?
Okay, Mrs. Koo. Okay, discussion. No discussion, no questions. I will call roll call. Ariana.
Abstain.
Abstain. Mr. Bell.
Can I get, ma'am, a question? Ma'am, I'm on a staff question real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just a little bit more board information regarding this, because it's easy to see it on paper about reductions and I get it. But if we could I'd like to hear a snapshot of the overall purpose. So when we make this decision, we know we made it based on the fact, not saying that the administration is wrong. I just want to hear maybe the underlying thing that would allow me to feel great about the decision.
And thank you, Mr. Bell, for that. And that's why the reason that I always ask for any comments or discussion, because then the board will have the opportunity to ask any questions regarding the item that we are about to approve. So with that, I will ask Dr. Emerson.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Bell, for your question. Mr. Crosby, a little clarification on this particular item.
Thank you. Part of our contract with CSEA Chapter 25, which is our classified units union, that the district is allowed to reduce only by 2 hours of any position prior to any negotiations. We have to negotiate effects once this happens. This current position is the Student Services Secretary 3 position is currently vacant. So there is no one in this position that is being reduced. But the position, we feel, due to our budget stabilization plan and declining enrollment, that we have to look at positions. And when we have a position that is open and vacant, so it's not affecting any current member, we try to look at those positions as well. So this is what that position is. And if the board approves, instead of it's a 12-month, currently it's a 12-month 8-hour position. If the board approves, it will be a 12-month 6-hour position. And so then we will fly that 6-hour position and hire that employee, a new employee into that position if the board approves this reduction.
And Rick, quick question. So so there's not currently an individual in this position, but when the position is posted, it will be for 6 hours per day. How will that affect the person's benefits? Is that considered enough time?
They will have benefits. Anybody that works over 4 hours gets benefits, but it's a portion of that. So it would be the portion of 8 hours is 100%. And so the 6 of the 8, I think it's 75%. And then they would get 75% of the benefits as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question or comments regarding this item? I will roll call. It was moved by Mr. Bell, second by Mrs. Koo, and Ariana abstained. Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell?
Yeah, I know. I hate these. Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Mrs. Diaz? Yes, thank you. This has been approved. We move to item number 15, educational services. Revised 2020-2021 single plans for student achievement. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. There is any discussion or comment?
Madam President?
Yes, Dr. Anderson.
I'd like to invite Dr. Nadia Hillman to just give some broad overview of this revision.
Thank you. These are plans that were approved by our school site councils, sort of laying out what they're doing this year, current school year. Much of what's in the plan is those items and actions that are funded by Title I and federal dollars. So we need to assure that the Title I funding matches precisely what is in our budget. The budget has changed because the distribution of those dollars has changed during the course of the year based on our mid-year second interim report and our enrollment. So every time we have some sort of adjustment, we have to ensure that the dollars match. Because we're almost to the end of the school year, and our schools have been operating on a budget that they were given early on. When the source of those dollars change, for instance, if they don't have as much Title I money anymore, we also make sure that we can that they will still be able to complete those activities that were in their plan using other funding as well.
Dr. Hillman, could I ask a follow-up question here? So with this Title I funding change, what drives that, and what is sort of captured in this revision as it relates to that?
Thank you. Well, the driver, if you will, of the Title I program is, and the intent by the federal government is that it meets the needs and serves the students, particularly those who are eligible for free and reduced meals. So it's targeted toward low-income families. Some of our as every year, based on the number of applications that we have for free and reduced meals, drives what how much funding we get in that area. And over the years, demographics have changed a bit in Duarte, right? So as we've seen, different I don't know, property values change and different opportunities for families exist. So that changes from year to year what kind of the level of funding we would get for Title I.
And does this apply to all students in the district, or is it only those that live in the district boundaries?
It applies to all students who are enrolled in our schools if they're running a school-wide program, which our schools have traditionally been running a school-wide program. So it's dollars that can be used across all students, but using different, the school site council uses their the data from their schools to how to address the achievement of students who need to achieve, get to a higher level.
Great, thank you.
I'm not sure if I answered your question, Dr. Finley, and that's why I'm hesitating.
Yeah, I mean, you did answer another question that was rolling around in my head, but I guess what
I kind of thought you we're asking one question, so maybe I should go back to it. Help me understand what you want to know.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm wondering is what we do have a fairly decent population of students in our schools who don't live in Duarte. So
Okay.
are they sort of being counted in whether or not a school qualifies for Title I funding?
That's a question. I didn't answer that question, but I'll answer that question now.
Great, thank you.
It's based on enrollment. It has nothing to do with residence. It has nothing. If they are enrolled in our schools, they are our students. That really doesn't have any bearing on the funding.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, any other question or any other comment? Since none, then we move to roll call. Ariana, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Ariana. Okay, and Mr. Bell
Yes.
and Cece
Yes.
and Dr. Finley
Yes.
and Mrs. Koo
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Moving along, item 16.1, budget adjustments, summary number 3 to the 2020-2021 adopted budget. Move to approve.
Motion to approve?
Moved by Mrs. Carroll.
Second.
Third? No, go ahead.
By Mr. Bell, and third. Any discussion or any comments?
Madam President,
Mr.
Madam President, just two things. I heard Dr. Finley on the second. So just make sure we have that on the record. And I'd like to ask Mr. Baller if he can come on and give some additional context for this adjustment. Mr.
Sure,
Baller.
absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Amerson. Well, the last conversation with, it's good to see everyone on. It's great to be at least back to Zoom. I'll say that first. Welcome, hello to the board members. The previous conversation that Dr. Hillman led really was a great segue into this particular budget adjustment, because this is an internal shifting of expenses within various programs. So it doesn't have a net impact on the general fund budget per se. Like the earlier, I'll say unlike the earlier budget adjustments in the fall when the board was taking action, we were reducing expenses because schools were closed. Those budget adjustments did have a net impact on the budget. And in the case of those in the fall, those were positive budget adjustments. Unfortunate the circumstances with which they came, school closure, but nonetheless, expenses reduced and while revenues remain the same. And so that brought about a balanced budget circumstance. That was all well and good. This one is a little different. This is a shift as Dr. Hillman mentioned, between Title I, Title III, and our supplemental and concentration grant money. So it's a shifting within budgets. There's no change in revenues. There's only movement of expenses out of one program into another that can openly take on additional expenses. In other words, there's room within the S&C budget to accept expenses that formerly would have been under Title I for those two schools in the district that don't qualify for Title I. So it's an internal adjustment. It's extremely common when districts are into the fourth quarter of the fiscal year that the types of internal adjustments are made that don't have an impact on the bottom line. So
And just to clarify, it's specifically relegated to classified employee salaries and then the requisite employee benefits tied to those. Moved around within those budgets, but it's relegated to classified employees.
yes, bilingual. You are
yes.
right.
I just wanted to clarify this specific.
That is completely correct. Yes, yes. So, any budget adjustment, any change to the numbers requires, board approval, and then we do the internal adjustments within the budgets that you'll see this effectively at the end of the school year, but we do this internally now upon board approval. So that's what we're requesting at this time.
Board members, do you have any other question for Mr. I lost his name.
Jim
Bowler?
Ballard.
Jim!
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that is okay. Listen.
Do you have any other question for Mr. Bowler? Okay.
Sorry, I do. I was
ahead.
just in simple terms, would you say, like, if you had two savings accounts and you notice that one is dipping low, you're just transferring funds into a different?
That's a great analogy. Yeah, two savings accounts, or say you have two checking accounts, two different banks, and you move money, you move expenses from one to the other, but the net impact, there's no real change between the two checkbooks. The balances are still the same. You're just shifting expenses from one to the other. Yes, that's a great analogy. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie, for that.
Thank you, Mr. Bowler. Any other comment? Here, none. Then we will move. It was moved by and second and third by Mr. Bell. If there is any other comment or discussion, then I will do roll call. Ariana?
Yes.
And Mr. Bell?
Yes.
And Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
And Dr. Finley?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cruz?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. We move to item number 17, and that will move to non-agendized items by the board members. Yes, I'm sorry. What are you? I will start with Mr. Bell.
Yes, ma'am. You ready? You asked me, am I ready, huh?
Yes, you're ready.
I just want to thank the staff and just going, over the agenda. I want to thank the staff for bringing everything together for us to be able to look at this. I think it's been a lot of little shakiness that we have to kind of look at all the adjustments that have to be made. But again, I can see that there's a lot of thought has gone through with our staff, looking at our young people coming back and bringing the families, making them feel more secure that we're doing what we need to do to open up the school. So I'm really happy to see how all of that worked out. Ariana, I'm so glad to see you. You have no idea how much you may not think that you were missed, but you were tremendously missed. And we're really going to look forward to you bringing and keeping us abreast of the atmosphere at that campus. So you're going to be our light pole to make sure that we do our job, to make sure we keep that campus the way you and your fellow classmates want it to be, okay? So let us know when things are not right and we're not doing our job. But again, that's one of the things that we look forward to having our board members, student board members, to do the good job that I know you're going to do. So we look forward to hearing from you, okay? I was also thinking about, I don't know if I had a chance. I know I brought a little bit of information about Doug Edwards to you, Superintendent Gordon. And you mind if I, mention it now? I don't know what, but Doug Edwards, a former board member, former president, fell ill, and he's having a tough time, and he's had some surgeries. And again, we're just asking for prayers for him. I had a chance to chat with him a little bit. He's had a little bit more medical procedures to go through. And again, I suggested just to Dr. Amerson that we could send some type of greetings from us to him. Doug was he was really, really solid gentleman. He gave his time and dedication to the school district. And I would like to see us send something, a plant or something, just to let him know we're thinking about him, because it's a pretty serious little surgery there. And well, I shouldn't say little, none of us is small, but I just would like to acknowledge him and let him know that we're thinking about him, because he's just that kind of guy. He would have done that for any one of us. So I just wanted to bring that to the board, to know that Doug has had surgery and has had some medical issues, and for us to just give him kind of a rah-rah. That's all I had, Madam President. Thank you.
And there is this that I want to say right now. Excuse me, it's not part of my comments, but I would like to tell you, Mr. Bell, thank you for bringing that up about former board president Doug Edwards, because we are a small city. We are a community that comes together when there is a need and celebrate when it's time to celebrate. And it's good that you bring that up to us, to be in prayers or however we can to get back to Mr. Edwards. So thank you for that comment. And with that, I will move to.
It was my pleasure.
I will move to Cece, please.
Yes. The videos at the beginning, I wasn't expecting the videos, but they really warmed my heart to see the kids going back to school and how excited, and how the staff and the leadership of the principals and the staff working together to make it a safe place for these kids to come back. So it was just beautiful to see the kids in the class, coming to the classroom, really cute, or the different videos they had for the schools. And coming from a mom in the district, I have my son who's a sophomore at the high school, so he will be attending the hybrid in another week, the week of the 26th. So I'm excited. He's actually excited. So for him to want to go back says a lot. He misses, the teachers, and he misses the students. And so I'm happy that he's going to be happy. But I'm also so excited about the WASC results from it, and everything was so positive. I was part of the Zoom meeting yesterday, so I'm new to that. I didn't know as much about it. I've known about it for years, but we got 6 years. So they kept saying 6 years, 6 years. And I asked Dr. Amerson, is that a really good thing? He goes, yes, that's a really, really good thing. And just I know. So all the teachers, were amazing. And thank you to Leslie Bartlett, who pretty much took the lead, was in charge of this. So she really did an excellent job, the principals, and just the parents and students. And we're the ones that just love our district. So I'm going to quote what Lisa Bowden said again. It's a great day to be a Falcon. So it truly is. And it's just, there's much to celebrate with those results. And it just shows how our district is moving forward, how things are just changing, but our district is solid. And just looking at it, of course, there's things that can always be refined or reviewed, but this is where they let it go for another 6 years to work on these things. But just to get 6 years, I guess, was a great thing. So I didn't know that, but I know now that it was great. But that's pretty much all I have. I'm excited for what I'm seeing. So everything, you know, it's just exciting right now. So maybe the next month we'll know how the high school is doing when they return back in the middle school. So, all right, that's it.
Thank you, Cece. We now move with Dr. Finley.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam President. I appreciate the opportunity to get to share my thoughts on a couple of things. First and foremost, the WASC accreditation process that the high school has been going through for the last couple of days. Really great news. It's exciting to see that the hard work that goes on there and throughout the district is being recognized, as Dr. Amerson mentioned, by an outside body, right? I mean, it's one thing to think your parent, you know, when your parents think you're a great kid, but when somebody else says you're a great kid, that means a lot more. So it's really special that the high school performed as well as it did, and definitely a huge shout out to Leslie Bartlett and all of the team at Duarte High School for really letting some outside visitors come and see how great of a place it really is. Because I think that sometimes you know gets lost on maybe the people that go in and out of there every day, whether they be students or teachers or administrators. You know, I think we sometimes forget how great of a place the high school really is, and it's a place where, you know, some of the most transformational times in a young person's life happen, you know, within that campus. And so I think it's great to see that WASC recognize the greatness of our high school. And I also want to just, you know, express my gratitude to all of the teachers and administrators at the different campuses that have been working so hard to you know, to go from teaching in person last year to remote teaching to starting a new year doing distance learning, and then, you know, now transitioning back and having this kind of hybrid approach right now. It's really impressive to see what you all have done with the ground moving under your feet, and you're still able to keep things going. So really, hats off to all of you. And I know just personally speaking, my youngest, who started back at school this week, Preston, who's in second grade at Valley View with Miss Rokas, he was literally counting down the days until he could go back to campus and see Mrs. Rokas. He just, I don't know if she's as excited to see him because he's a little bit of a chatterbox, but and it's harder to mute in person, right? But I think that what the teachers and administrators have done in the campuses is really nothing short of miraculous. And so I hope that we can recognize them as was sort of mentioned here in a couple of the items with the day of the teacher and then the week of the classified staff. That's so well deserved every year, but I think especially this year. So thank you. And my two older kids, you know, we kind of asked them, hey, are you interested in going back? And both of them are. I mean, they're excited to get back on campus and to see their teachers and have that different environment of learning. So it's really great, and I'm thankful that everyone has put their trust in the district in general to go ahead and keep that environment safe and protected, and so I'm just really pleased with the way things have rolled out. So thank you, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Finley. During your comments, I was looking at you and I was going back many years ago, and for 6 years, I chair many nights and board meetings with your grandfather. And it is amazing now to see you kind of representing the community as a board member and your role as a board member. And I will tell you that there is no difference between the president, vice president, and the rest of the board. Just to sign documents, and a great honor to be the president and vice president. But all of us really represent our district, and the way the comments that I hear from Cici and you and Mr. Bell, and I know that I'm going to hear the same thing with Mrs. Cool. But I will tell you that when you mentioned the West and Cici did, and that's what makes Duarte and our district the way we are. We are not perfect, but we are doing well. And I want to ask you. You don't have to answer me if you don't like, but do the impact of your grandparents in our community, and especially and many students that have received scholarships on behalf of the Fergusons. I would like to ask, how is your grandmother?
Grandma's doing okay. She has having some health challenges as anyone that gets to 92 years old may experience. But she has her moments where she's just happy to be sitting out there watching her grandkids like myself and her great grandkids playing in the yard or swimming in the pool or something like that. So I think she really has those moments where she sees her legacy in front of her, and she has a tremendous love for the school district. It was a huge part of her life and her kids' life and her grandkids' life, and now her great grandkids' life. So she's doing pretty well, but could definitely use some prayers as well.
Thank you. And as I remember, she was a teacher, right?
Yes, she was.
Thank you. And I will finishing with you. If you can tell us now, I'm gonna put you on the spot. How many pounds have you lost? Because you look really great. So don't turn red. Just say a number, and that's it.
It's a Zoom filter.
No, it's not a Zoom filter. I can see that. Come on. So that will make you walk from the district to my house every day. So
it's been I'll just say there, my wife always jokes around with me that there's probably about 30 or 40 pounds of me that she's not actually married to. And that's not so true anymore. So I'll just put it that way.
Good. Thank you, James. Dr. Finley, appreciate your comments tonight. And I will move with Mrs. Koo. Mrs. Koo, just to tell you, it is a a wonderful board meeting because I was able to see you in face. I haven't had the pleasure to meet you in person, but it is an amazing honor to being able to see your face. So it's your turn.
Thank you. I was gonna say, start off like, it's amazing to see your faces. I mean, I saw pictures and I just imagine just your picture and the mouth talking. Like, have you seen those cartoons? But yeah, it's so great to see your faces. I just kind of wanted you all to take a moment, like whoever's on the call, staff, administrators, teachers, parents, students, just take a moment and see like, holy moly, this is where we're at. We're at the point where we're coming back to school, where our family members and our friends are getting vaccinated, where things are starting to open up. I know that this was a huge journey, and the road ahead, we're always going like, okay, we got this now. What's next? What's next? What's next? But I think it's really important that Dr. Amerson, you and your team our administrators at the schools, our teachers, our staff, parents, like you all have done amazing work. Students, you've done an amazing job. Just rolling with the punches and understanding that like this has never happened before and that's okay. And I'm learning and we're all learning and we're going to make mistakes and that's life and that's the process. And I feel like in a classroom, that's what we want to impart with our students. And I feel like we're all students in COVID right now because we're all just saying, I think this will work. Let's try it out. What do you think? And I feel like the board and the entire team in our district has been so positive. And so open-minded of the potential that we can bring. It's so easy for us to be like, oh, all of this is closed. I can't see my friends. Like, it's really easy to spiral like that. But I think like we've all stayed really positive and optimistic. And I'm just really, I'm really excited to see what's gonna come. And I hope I get to see y'all in person eventually. You know, it's really nice seeing your faces. You get to crack more jokes. And I'm really excited to be on the board. And this feels official to me, even if it doesn't feel official to the rest of you. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And really, when I saw your face today, I thought you were one of the students. You look so young and amazing. So it is really great to have you on our board. It is. And yes, you're right. Every day we will learn from each other. So it is a great honor to be in this board with you. Thank you. And I will move with Mrs. Serna. Serna, yes, please.
Okay, so I just want to start off by saying I am very proud to be like a board member right now and having the chance to share my voice as well as my classmates' voice and the decision of having like that happiness of other students. Like when I saw them in the video, it made me so happy. Like Ms. Q said, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, you know, like it's the home stretch, we're almost there. And I'm just really happy to see them back in class. Kind of on top of that, I want to give a little shout out to all the teachers, the staff members, as well as the students, because, you know, we've been working extremely hard during these times. And like it's been stated, it's definitely going to be a new thing. This whole year has been a new thing, crazy thing. I'm just hoping that we can work together and make it through this journey of going back to school. And kind of like speaking on top of the teachers, I just wanted to say that I loved the whole like day of the teacher as well as the school employee week. I believe that this is very, very needed. It's very important, I think, like Mr. Bell said, to make it very like important and really like a big thing for the staff members because they've been doing a great job during all of this craziness and they're going to be doing such more hard work now that it's going to be online as well as in person and going back and forth. I'm really glad that I think some people already talked about it, but I'm really glad that I got to talk to the WASC committee, and I think it's really amazing to show our like determination, all the things that our high schools offer, as well as the other schools in the community. And I also got to recognize, you know, some important staff members that make the campus like the best. And as you know, as Ms. Carroll said, it is a great day to be a Falcon, and I am extremely proud to be one at this moment. So.
Thank you. Appreciate your comment, Andrea. Okay, it is my turn. And during the whole board meeting, and I apologize for running a little bit late, but it was very tough moment. But we have to go through sometimes personal moments that we need to go and present our love to some friends that are going through painful times. But during the meeting, when I listen to you, I listen to reports, I make some notes. And when I go home, I read after and after to remember what we talk in our board meetings. So I just not leave the meeting and then wait until next month. I kind of reflect. I have some reflections about what comments make everyone. And I think that it is the real moment, the best moment to be a a high school student, teacher, parent, anything. And for us as board members and teachers and people who work in the school district, we know what was means. There are hundreds and hundreds of parents, they don't have no idea of what was means. And for me, I always ask my colleagues or the superintendent or anyone that can explain to me. And I remember a long time ago, probably about 20 some years ago, that I asked someone what it really was mean. And they say something that stay in my heart, in my mind, is the was mean that you can go to many, many colleges that you choose because you're coming for a good qualified high school. And so when people ask me about that, that's how it's staying in my brain and my heart, that we are preparing well our kids to go to college, to go to university. And they can, if they do what they have to do at school, they can go to any university they choose to go. So thinking about that, I will tell you that keep in your heart and your mind all the good things that we do, and keep in your mind the things that you're not too pleased with it, and try to let's get together and try to do things better. And just the one that we cannot fix, just put it away. And if one day we can build something up there, then we can do it. But right now, I was writing some notes and thinking about reflecting on Dr. Amerson's report. And I was very pleased to hear the update and our next steps regarding our facility. I feel that it is critical that we continue to explore all options. And I want to make sure that we are looking at our district comprehensively when we consider our options and consider your recommendations. Please continue to keep the board and community informed, Dr. Emerson. I know it's not just you. I know you have lots of people working behind you, front of you, and your side. And I know that everything that we can accomplish is with a good leadership. But we can come and we can run the board meeting, but you're running the whole district. And I am very pleased to tell you that I am proud to be part of this board, that 23 years of my life, since almost 24 years of my life, my heart has been in this district. And the reason that I came on being a board member was because I was not pleased with how the district was running, the direction that was there. So I was part of the solution, not just to criticize and run away for it. So I just can promise Dr. Emerson that I will be here at anything that I can help. Like I mentioned the last time in our last board meeting, special meeting, whatever we need at any school site, please count with your board and count on all of us, and especially myself. With that, I will ask you, it's your turn.
I don't have more to report other than just to say WASC is really important. And I can't stress that enough and can't emphasize just how important it is. The reality is when you go through WASC, you spend an entire year, it's like training for a marathon. It's like training for the most high stakes thing that organizationally a high school can do. And having had the privilege of being a high school principal, I know how high stakes it is. And what I also recognize, hearing some of the feedback from some of the teachers during our debrief call yesterday, they realized how important it was. And we had teachers who have put in a lot of work and have put in the sweat equity necessary to make sure that the school was in a good place to receive that WASC committee and be able to showcase and share all the wonderful progress that has been made over the last few years. And so I'm very, very proud. I'm very proud of Louis Harrow's leadership. I'm very proud of Russ Ernest's leadership. I'm very proud of Leslie Bartlett's leadership and everybody at DHS who played a role in making sure that our students were represented, their parents were represented, this community was represented. It says a lot about this organization when you can achieve that level. We are super hopeful. We will know exactly what the accreditation is when we receive that letter. from the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. But I'm going to say that, I'll say what WASC is again, because we use WASC like we do alphabet soup here in education. So let's again remind ourselves what we're talking about. It's the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. It is an accreditation body that creates standards and expectations that govern whether a school meets the criteria to be designated that their high school diplomas meet, and not only the high school diploma, but the program that then created the ability to receive that diploma warrant acceptance by colleges and universities. That's not a small thing. That's a big thing. That's really, really important. And so again, kudos to all of our, yeah, I see you, Mr. Bell. Kudos to all of our students and staff and our leadership and our faculty at Duarte High School for a job well done. Thank you, Madam President. And that's the conclusion of my additional comment tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Emerson. And yes, you're right. It's a great day. It's just amazing. Before I move to adjourn the meeting, I would like to extend my thanks to Mercedes, to Marcelo, and Mr. Ramos for putting together the Zoom. It was not easy. I stopped at working. I see how Mercedes sweat and running back and forth. And so thank you for making this possible. It is a huge step, Mercedes, and Mr. Ramos, and all of you, and Dr. Emerson too. With that, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to
Motion by Cece, second
Second, James.
by Dr. Finley. I will roll call if there is any other comment. Ariana.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Mr. Bell
Yes.
and Mrs. Carroll,
yes.
Dr. Finley,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Without, meeting adjourned. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Well done.
And we see it.
Yeah.